So I keep hearing about Larry Elder, Mr. No on the pole having ass, Mr. who doesn't know his asshole from his mouth, talking shit, and people are saying that he killed the Breakfast Club and he owned them and all this other. He didn't own shit. He was just throwing out fucking inaccurate stats as he always does. He was filibustering the whole goddamn time.
So who's in
Okay.
charge of the system? Who was in charge of the system?
Well, it was Democrats that passed it.
And who were
The-
Democrats? Were they black or white at that time?
Well, at the time, majority of black people were Democrats, as the majority of black people are Democrats now.
Not the voters. I'm talking about the system. Remember, the main idea is the word system. Who was in charge of the system at the time? The Democrats at the time, the system. I'm just going to Charlamagne's point about white or black. Was it white Democrats in charge of the system or black Democrats in charge of the system?
Well, if you're prepared to say that Lyndon Johnson did this viciously with an intent to destroy the black family, I disagree. He did it with the best of intention.
People, so I'm going to ask again in case my mic's not coming through clearly. Was it white people in charge of the system or black people in charge of that system that helped break down the black family? It's a simple yes, just a simple question, white or black?
Fine. Lyndon Johnson was white.
Thank you.
Okay. But if your argument is that the reason he did it is because of racism, then I
No.
disagree. He did it because of
That's not my argument. I just asked you a simple question. Was he white or black?
As you can see, they didn't even get any words in. But the lady who was interviewing asked about, like, continuously had to ask him, like, dude, who runs the system? What are you talking about? There's no systematic racism, or there's never been, or whatever. And you talking about all this shit, and black people in the 1940s, and you're talking about we were still below the poverty line. What are you talking about, bruh? My ancestors did not work their ass off and break their fucking back and have a hard time in America.
You want me to talk about how bad white people are,
No, I'm
which
saying
I don't think
that there's a cause and effect.
which I don't think is a particularly productive thing to do.
Well, I think
I'm talking.
I think there's a cause and effect, but if we can't talk about the cause, which I believe is systemic racism and white supremacy, the FBI says.
Well, I just told you, if it's systemic racism, please explain to me how it was when America really had systemic racism in 1940. 87% of blacks lived under the poverty line. 87% of blacks lived below the poverty line. This is before Brown versus Board of Education.
Probably
You
because we
did
had no
not
choice.
find these kind of black on black crime.
Probably because we had no
But they
choice
still
but
were
to do it
living
ourselves.
below the poverty line, though, sir.
I'm sorry?
You're forgetting the fact that they were still living below the poverty line. You're picking and choosing, saying this was good, but this was bad.
Okay.
The bottom line, they end between the poverty line.
He obviously hates himself. He hates black people. And Mr. Larry Elder, if the problem is so, the broken household and whatnot, which I completely agree with, that's one of many problems. If that's so much the problem and not systematic racism, not the positions that were put in, not the odds against us, not the actual fucking stats. Look at you. You were just a couple of years ago, you were in a domestic violence suit. Your ex-wife filed that shit on you, and you talking about black man in the family. Look at you. You messing up your own damn family, so you talking shit, and you ain't even got your shit right, bruh. So calm down. You hate yourself, and I hate you.